Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I want to talk to you about organizing the many sticker books that I have. I have an organization system in place, so I'm going to kind of give you a tour of that, and then I'm going to update it just a little bit for my new craft space, kind of make sure all the sticker books are where they belong. So I'll bring you guys with me as we start to sort that. So if you want to see how to get all of your sticker books wrangled, have them be easy to find, then stay tuned. All right, so here is my current sticker organization. I have all my stickers in this Billy bookcase. Of course, I have a ton of sticker books, and I have them in these small bins that I picked up from Target. These are actually part of the Made by Design collection, and they're from the bathroom section in Target. One of my biggest tips for storage is don't just look in craft room or office storage. Look in some other parts of your stores because there's some really functional storage that might just be labeled differently. So these are actually from the bathroom line. And I'll see if I can link something similar. These were going out of stock as Target started to replace all of their collections with the new Bright Room collection, but there's still some great options there. So I had all of these in my previous craft room, and I also had these dividers in the craft room as well. And these dividers helped me figure out which stickers were where. They kind of stuck up. They used to have tabs on the side that I've cut off. But now that I have a little bit more space, I'm going to spread things out. So I'm going to get rid of these dividers. And today we're going to make new labels for the front. But here's why I like these particular bins. They aren't so huge that they're too heavy to move. So when I'm coming to look for a sticker book, I'll be able to, once we do the new labels, I'll be able to see all of the different categories, and then I can just pull out pretty easily a whole set. When you start to get longer than this, when you start to get those double wide sets for sticker books or something that's a little bit more heavy than the plastic, it can be hard to pull out that set and to actually look for your sticker books. So I like pulling out. A lot of times I'll have multiple containers out on my desk, looking through them, sorting, and then I will be able to put them all back in. Something else that's key for me to sticker organization are these little binder rings. These are 1-inch binder rings. I happen to have them in a variety of colors because I love color, but they help me keep books together so that if pages start to get loose, they all stay in. Plus, when I have multiples of one particular book. So for instance, I have 2 squad goal sticker books. I can hook them together. That way I don't lose track of the fact that I have to as they kind of sort through or as they get put into the bins. I know that I have 2 and they're right here together. So pretty easy to find. Okay, as far as categories go, I have a ton of different categories. Wellness, bold as far as colors, illustrations, faith, planner basics, pastels, Disney. I have 2 containers of Disney now. Florals, food, color story is its own category, mom and teacher, brights. Then we have squad goals and stick babe together, neutrals, goals, mega books, then some extra paper that I have, extra smaller sticker books, 2 groupings of seasonal, and then new sticker books, plus multiple other companies that don't have, I want to keep all those sticker books together. So it's a lot of different categories. You need to choose a category or a set of categories that works for you, that will be logical to you in finding your stickers. These are the ones that occurred to me as I started to sort through my different stickers. As I'm creating labels for these, I'm going to check them out and see if I need to update some of these categories. But for right now, let's head over to my laptop and start working on some labels. All right, so as you can see, I have opened up Cricut Design Space. I'm going to start a new project. The first thing you want to do when you are creating labels is measure the space that you're going to put the labels in. So I measured the front of those particular containers and kind of looked at where I would want the label to sit. And so I know that the label can be up to 4.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a shape. And we're going to go with just a square, just a regular old square right here. And I'm going to change the size of the square. We're going to go with 4.5 by 3. And what this is going to do, that shows me the size that I can use. I'm going to go up here to operation, and instead of cutting out that, I'm going to use this as a guide. This is, again, going to show me the size that a label can be. And so now I have this guide. You can see that it is turned red. That means it will not be cutting, but it will, in fact, show me how my labels might look, what the sizing might look like. So the next thing we're going to do is add text. So this is where we're going to type out our label names. The first one I'm going to do is new sticker books. Oops, new sticker books. So that is my first category, which is new release. Maybe I should call it new release. That's what I should do. Let's rename this one. New release. And that'll just be new release. Oops. Make sure you do it right, or you spell it right. Okay, then you're going to want to look at the font. So there's a million choices for fonts, you guys. There are so many. A lot of them are for purchase over here on Cricut Design Space. I have Design Access, so I can get them cheaper or free. I'm just looking to see which ones I might like. I want one that's a little bit thicker. Let's see what this looks like. That's kind of nice, bold. I like that one. Now we're wanting to, we're going to want to change that so it's one over the other. And I kind of want the lines closer together. So you see where it says line spacing? I can adjust this just a bit, and I can bring those more together just so they're closer. And that looks pretty good. So I have that. It looks like it'll fit nicely. It shows me the font size that it is currently. So let's see if we move this. Yeah, that's going to be font size 72. I'm going to just shift this over. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. It's going to fit in the space. That looks nice. So here's what I'm going to do. If I go to make it right at this moment, we're going to put it on a mat. I'm going to confirm. And ta-da, it's all one, all together. That is going to be perfect. So that looks good. What I'm going to do now is continue to use my guide. So I'm going to actually copy this, control copy, control paste. That's the keeper. We're going to just move the ones that we're done with over here. Now we're going to add some more. So my next category, wrong. Oops. See, spelling is a big deal. That one obviously doesn't fit, so I'm going to bring down the size just a little bit until I can get it all on one row. There we go. We have wrong. That looks great. We're going to move those. We can paste. We have our new one, and we can just keep going and fill in all of our categories. Okay, so now that I have all of my different categories pulled out, you can see it's all in a mishmash. It's okay, the Cricut will sort it for me. So I'm going to come to make it right over here. It is sorting out the craziness of that project. I'm going to say that it's going to be on the mat. Perfect. And then we will stick with our 12 by 24 mat right here and confirm. Or 12 by 12. Looks like we're going to go onto 2. So you know what? I'm actually going to do, let's cancel this. Let's do a 12 by 24. I do have a larger mat that I can use. So we're going to come to make it. Try that again as it sorts it all out. It's going to use the spacing as best it can. 12 by 24. That will work. There we go. So now it's all on here. I can actually give myself a little bit more space, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to move everything down just so it's spaced a little bit more easier to grab what I'm looking for. We're going to move these down. I love that you can sort on here. It's going to fill in the space as much as it can. but it does give you the ability to kind of move things around a little bit so that you're using the space as best you can. Some of these are so close together that it would be a little bit difficult for me to pull them apart easily and be able to tell what was what. So we're just gonna give me a little bit more space to work with, moving some of these things down just a bit. We resort. Now, categories. I like to keep the categories relatively broad. Again, it's going to be up to you. When I get too specific, sometimes it's hard to figure out what category things go in. So keeping it pretty broad helps me figure out where everything is going to go. All right, there we go. I know I have some wasted space. It's okay. I think we'll all survive. Let's move this one up here. That works. Fills in that just a little bit. Okay. Now, as I go to continue, then I will select the correct materials for my cutting. Okay, so from here, I will just select the correct material and then I'll be able to send it over to my Cricut and we will get cutting, you guys. Okay, so I have all my labels cut out. I already did the weeding, which means I took it off the back and took off all of the negative space, you might say. And now I'm going to use transfer tape. And what you do is very carefully, this R is giving me trouble. Very carefully, you put the transfer tape over just the piece you want. So for instance, this is wrong. I'm just going to eyeball it, you guys. I don't need it to be exactly perfect. I mean, come on, it's a custom label already, so it's pretty darn good. But then I just use my little scraper tool here and pull it off carefully, hopefully, and it sticks. There we go. Just pull it off a little bit slower. Sometimes I get too excited and it pulls off the actual label. Once the transfer tape is off, then I usually come through, press it down again, and now I have a beautiful new label that's a little less obtrusive than some of the dividers. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward and go ahead and continue labeling all my containers. All right, here is the finished result. I really like that I can see the sticker books more. They're not blocked by the dividers. I like the font and kind of the lighter color. I was able to move a few things around, and this lets me kind of adjust my categories. If there's one I'm wanting to use more, then I can just raise it to a higher shelf. That is really important because the ones that are at your eye line, your eyesight line, those are the ones you're going to use a little bit more. So right now that's where I have my seasonal, planner basics, and mega books, and then I can kind of adjust from there as needed. I hope you enjoyed it coming with me on this little journey to reorganize and kind of update my sticker organization. When I was moving everything down here, I definitely got it into the place that I wanted it to be. But now I'm going through and getting into some details, tweaking some of the little organization things that I had going on. Some of the details that worked in my previous craft room aren't working in the same way here. And so I'm going to bring you guys along as I kind of go through and get to the nitty gritty of some of the organization, because I know so many of you really enjoy those videos. And I know I love watching organization videos on YouTube as well. So I will link all of the supplies that I use down below. You can check out my full craft room tour as well. That was posted a few weeks ago, so it is up and available. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for kind of supporting me on this journey. If you want to find out more about Patreon, some of the perks that you can receive, then make sure to check out the link to Patreon over in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.